I lack focus. I just don't know what to focus on. If you're feeling like this around your business or even your life right now, then this episode is for you. We're talking about the 80-20 rule and how it can help you to get out of the everything is important dilemma. Hi, I'm Mariela. Welcome to Productive Introvert Community. I support introverted solopreneurs in developing healthy habits so that they have the energy to work on their goals without daily routines that feel forced or that only last 2 weeks. The everything is important dilemma is one of the habit bottlenecks that I see a lot of solopreneurs struggle with. If you're a one-person show, then you're the whole team and all the balls are yours to juggle. Aside from juggling families with business, there's a lot of pressure that solopreneurs feel to do things as fast as possible and to grow. You may be feeling like you're always falling behind. The result is that a lot of solopreneurs feel that they are unfocused. It feels chaotic and like you're never doing enough. This is what I call the everything is important dilemma. When everything is important, nothing is. So you don't know what to focus on. A lack of clarity is the hardest thing for a solopreneur because you're not only deciding the direction of the business, you're also doing the work. And you can lose a lot of energy doing things that don't really impact your business or improve your life. This is where the 80-20 rule can help. The 80-20 rule, also known as Pareto's Principle. It states that 20% of your efforts yield 80% of your results. The underlying idea is that if you double down on the 20% that get you the most results, you create maximum value. To be clear, this doesn't necessarily mean that you're getting results faster. The idea that faster is always better, as a general idea, I think is really a trap that a lot of entrepreneurs can fall into. I remember doing a business course once on Coursera, and the instructor was an experienced entrepreneur, and he described it in a way that I really liked. He said that when you look at successful businesses, that growing too fast is often more dangerous than growing too slow. If you listen to successful entrepreneurs 10 or maybe 20 years down the line, they all say roughly the same thing. In reality, it takes 10 years to become that overnight success, right? So working on your mindset around speed and giving yourself permission to let go of the pressure to reach goals as fast as possible can really help you to actually be more consistent with what you do. After all, if it takes 10 years to become an overnight success, you're more likely to become successful if you can stick with something for 10 years rather than burning really bright but only for a short while. And for those of you listening to this in audio, imagine me doing air quotes every single time I say overnight success. Because as you can probably tell from this episode, there really is no such thing. It's much more effective to take the focus off of speed and to put that focus on useful contribution. Being able to contribute in a useful way is way more motivating for most people than to work just for the sake of growing something really fast. By tapping into things that naturally motivate you as you're doing them, makes it much easier to stay motivated for the length of time that you actually need to achieve a long-term goal. So back to the 80-20 rule. Initially, it sounds a bit crazy, right? If 20% of what you're doing yields 80% of your results, then why are we so darn busy the whole time? Well, the simple answer is because we often don't realize it. Most people rarely take the time to look at what they're really doing and how much of that is actually making a useful contribution. But because we don't often take the time to really look at this, we end up in the everything is important dilemma. And we keep ourselves busy with things that feel important, but that don't really make that useful impact. Or sometimes we think that we have to completely change our life altogether or have to spend hours and hours analyzing everything that we do in order to figure out what that 20% is. But you'd be surprised how small tweaks can already have a huge impact. An analogy that I use for this is the cap analogy. I live in the Netherlands, and over here it rains a lot. Well, we think so. In reality, we don't even crack the top 100 list of the most rainy countries in the world, but Dutch weather is infamous for turning really quickly. If you meet a Dutch person, you can probably find the app called Buienradar on their phone. It's an app that predicts rain showers to the minute and how much rain is gonna fall. Sometimes it's useful, sometimes it's not. And on top of that, Dutch people bike a lot. So this combination can quickly turn into a very unpleasant experience. I've been going nearly everywhere by bike for the past 19 years, and I've been drenched literally down to my underwear. But I've discovered an amazing tiny little habit that improves my fickle weather plus biking experience by at least 80%. Bringing a cap. Yes, a cap. A baseball cap. The simplest, ugliest one that you can find, one you don't mind getting wet and muddy, one that fits underneath a hoodie, and in your pocket, scrunched up. Actually, anything with a firm rim will do, but a cap works best. Trust me, this has gone through a lot of testing. Anyway, when the weather starts to turn, I'm the lunatic who gets really excited and is like, ha, I have my cap. And biking with a cap is a completely different experience. Everywhere around me, people are holding their hoodies with one hand, trying to cover their eyes, and the bike with their other hands, trying not to slip over the icy, wet, whatever's going on. Raindrops slamming in their face, hail. Of course, why not? Like today, it's been hailing on and off like crazy. And then there's me, happily biking along, the cap shielding my eyes from the shards of ice, singing in the rain. Okay, well, maybe I'm not singing, but I'm definitely having a better time than when capless. And this has been such a weird little thing that has been life-changing to me, a habit that really changed my life, bringing this cap, that I want to scream it at people on the street. Next time, just bring a cap. Wearing the cap turned out to have a huge positive effect on my overall biking experience. Better than wearing protective rain pants, water-resistant raincoat, and a rain poncho, like all together. So trust me when I say small changes can have a big effect. Just like the 80-20 principle. It's small tweaks in your habits that often have a really big effect. Solving habit bottlenecks are the 20% that can have the 80% results. Here are some other examples of clients that I've worked with. One example from Kimmy, who had a much better flow in her day when she simply took 10 minutes to make a prep list the day before. Something that she knew was helpful, but she didn't do it consistently. And once she started doing that, her days just flowed so much better. Or Angela, who found the time to learn a new language like she always wanted by starting her day with a stroll to her favorite coffee place instead of rushing out the door to work. Or Melissa, who felt in control when she was starting a new job and easily took all the mandatory courses for her role in her first 3 months on the new job because she finally let herself work in a way that matched her natural advantage. We all get drenched by rain sometimes, but a little scrunched up cap can go a long way to turn a really unpleasant experience into an opportunity to sing in the rain. There are so many examples where small changes have a big impact. And I bet that if you took a closer look, you can identify your little caps too. If you want help to identify the caps in your life, the small changes that have a big impact, then sign up for a free habit style reveal. In a 30-minute call, we'll reveal your natural style for an easy and effective daily routine and look at the most important cap that will get you out of the everything is important dilemma. You can find the link to get in touch with me in the description. Thank you for hanging out with me today, and let's talk again next week. Thank you for listening to the Productive Introvert Community Podcast. If you're an introverted entrepreneur and you're ready to thrive in your own way, then connect with me on thefrankermessage.com/contact.